Welcome, everybody. John Zegar. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. 5:13, Monday. I don't know what the date is. Maybe the 29th. I'm at home, eastern slope of Colorado, and it's been snowing. Well, it started raining early this morning, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock, when it turned into snow. And it's just wet. Kind of melts when it hits the ground, the roads, and on the grass there's a little bit of snow. It's supposed to snow all night long. It shows until like 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. But get down to 32, I think it said. So it's not like it might accumulate. I don't think any more than a couple, 2, 3 inches, but it just looks like a wet spring snow. Temperature's been fine. I mean, it's been I think it's been 39 or 38 this afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. So, kind of an unexpected spring snow. No big deal. It'll be gone by tomorrow. And then I believe it turns into rain for Tuesday, high of 50. And a little bit of Wednesday is supposed to be still rainy. It's coming up out of the Gulf. I don't know what that is. What am I drinking today? Powerade, lemon lime. No ice, just cold. Advanced electrolyte system. Very good, I like it. I seem to be buying one of these every few days anymore. I kind of enjoy it. So, back in the gym, I took a few days off. I think I had mentioned that before. I was lifting pretty heavy weight, and I didn't blow out my shoulders, but I might have done a little bit of damage because they hurt, I don't know, a week, 10 days. So I took some time off, and today was my today was my second day back. I went yesterday, Sunday, and turned out real good. I mean, I came back and lifted what I was lifting before with not as much pain. Actually, a lot less pain. Boy, did that feel good. And today I wasn't sure because I was a little sore last night when I went to bed, but when I got in the gym this morning, I noticed that lifting, I did my bench first, and I don't know, went away. I didn't notice any discomfort or anything from lifting, because I did legs today and bench, and I did not do shoulders and stuff, but everything worked out really fine. So that's been good. I was going to get on a rant today about millennials. Well, before I do that, because I can always get on a rant about millennials, but I noticed yesterday, you know how it says how many shows you have, and I think I'm well over 1,000 shows. I don't know. It said, but I didn't remember. And then it says how many followers you have. And there's a lot of people with a lot fewer shows than mine. And they have like tons of followers. And here I have more shows than these other folks they compared me to, and I had fewer followers. actually a minimal amount of followers, but that's okay. I'm not going anywhere. And I noticed we got a new follower yesterday. I believe I don't have the name, and I wouldn't say it anyway, but I was very pleased to see that we got a new follower. So if you're listening or you happen to listen to this particular podcast, welcome. And anytime you want to call in or email me or text me or anything, by all means, feel comfortable in doing that. We would look forward to that. So yay! But anyway, today I wanted to rant on millennials. It's kind of funny. I was, me in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm up and I'm having a cup of coffee and just catching up on the internet and stuff and seeing what I can find. And there were two things noteworthy. One was, there's a pretty prominent, I don't know if it's a group or an individual on the internet that I sort of keep track of. And they were just ranting on millennials. And you know how they fix their hair in a bun? Whew, boy. And so this guy, or this group, was basically comparing that to guys, in their late teens, 20s, I guess 30s, years ago. Just that would be unheard of. And I had never read anything about anybody really criticizing millennials for, the hair and the bun. I don't care. I think it's a little effeminate, but, I'm sure there were things that I was doing when I was young that might have been viewed by older people as not up to their standard. So anyway, I read that this morning and thought, wow, we are getting aggressive now. We're going after the young people and how they keep their hair. But anyway, so I was reading some more about, I give you my daily update of Dr. Joe's testimonials. Well, actually, today it wasn't a testimonial. It was, they have the group of the people that follow Dr. Joe or have been to his workshops or is part of the group or something, those of us who are deeply invested in Dr. Joe's work, right? And so you can offer comments. You can say anything you want in there. It's a closed group. I believe there's 24,000 people in it, so it's not really closed. But anyway, I tell you each day about the hilarious stuff that people say, and there's a lot of people who just comment that whenever somebody opens up their remarks with, I'm a newbie, everybody stops reading at that time because who knows what they're going to come up with. But anyway, there was this one lady today who wanted to know which meditation should she start using in order to heal her dog who is sick. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But you never know what you're going to get. I was thinking about and I've been reading about, actually, who is it? Dr. Bruce Lipton. He's a PhD, and he's been having a lot of stuff on YouTube. And oh, by the way, I think I'm going to switch over to YouTube and do visual. I don't know, I might do this and that, but I'm going to start doing some visual YouTube presentations for my podcasts. I haven't figured out quite how I'm going to work that completely, but anyway. So look forward to that. I'll announce it when it comes out, or when it's going to be about out, so you can start watching them. You can actually see who I am. But some of the stuff that Bruce Lipton is talking about, which is what everybody else is talking about, and you can read it or from various sources all over the internet to listen to YouTube videos about the same thing. But it just gets on to how sensitive the universe is based on what we think and feel, our thoughts. So you guys are all in the program, and you all understand how it works, and you're all trying to heal from something, be it emotional or physical. And, you know, in Dr. Joe's case in particular, as I read it, it seems very explicit about, you know, you need to do this, this, and this in this order, and you'll probably, you know, be on the road to having a little better health or something. I mean, I think he's pretty articulate about, you know, the formula and what works and what doesn't work, as is Bruce Lipton. But he's just a big proponent on, you know, nothing has anything to do with genes. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but your thoughts control the genes and cells, right, that upregulate and are in your body. And your thoughts can be, even if they're not, how do they put that? Remember how we talked about if your intention is not clear, spelled out, and your faith and belief in that things are going to get well is not pure and clean, how things may not happen for you, right? Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's what Bruce Lipton was kind of rambling about. And our thoughts are really sensitive to the outcome of what our intentions are. So if your intention might be, well, there's all kinds of testimonials online. The one a few days ago was the lady who had, I believe it was 9 tumors in her body. And she was a relatively new student of Dr. Dispenza. And she just hooked into the whole thing. She read every single book, you know, I don't know what he's got, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think he's got 4 or 5 books. And she listened to every single podcast, every single lecture. She bought, I believe, the online courses, and she went to, I thought she went to Cancun and one other workshop, seminar. I mean, she just jumped in hook, line, and sinker. And remarkably, if you remember the story as I told you, you know, she had tried traditional medicine and things actually grew more because she didn't have confidence, right? She didn't have belief. She didn't have faith that it was going to actually work. And when the oncologist corrected her and said, remember, she was going to try the new trial medication or treatment, and the oncologist said, no, don't be thinking that optimistically. It would be rare if we even had a small amount of shrinkage in even one of the tumors. So again, she had no faith. She had no belief system that it was going to work after that. And it just, the importance of the podcast is what we think about, believe, right, and have faith in can determine if things work or not work. So there's so many people that have severe, tragic diagnoses, diseases. And there are some that follow the course of the program and they get well and their disease goes away. I kind of like to call that purity of thought. It's about as clean of a thought as you can get. There is no second guessing. There's no guesswork involved. You are committed to this is going to work. I believe in it. I have faith in it. Nothing is going to rock this boat. And for some reason, those people, as you talk to them and listen to them and, pay attention and observe, their thoughts and behavior has such a huge commitment to getting well. It's the same thing with the people with spontaneous, remission? Is that what they call that? It's not a scientific anomaly, what some people would call. It's not a miraculous miracle, as Christians might call. It's the fact that their belief system has changed. They get sick because of old beliefs and perceptions, right? And they progress themselves through their disease and, I don't know if you want to call American medicine treatment, to the point to where the American doctors say, I don't know what to do for you, go home, blah, blah, blah. And then they take it upon themselves to change their belief system to where there is no doubt in their mind. There is no doubt in their mind. And those are the people, as you interview them, and I've not interviewed a lot of them. I've interviewed a few, very few. I think, people like Dr. Joe obviously has interviewed multitudes of those people. I think he said he went to 17 countries interviewing people with spontaneous remissions, and his research is obviously a lot better than mine, but what I come up with in talking to people or listening to people is that they just believe beyond the shadow of a doubt that my behavior and my thinking is going to change, and there is no further adjustment required. So they're that determined, that driven. Their focus is so intent that they end up with the results of, becoming disease-free. Boy, that's good. Lemon lime. Natural flavors. So it's got electrolytes in B3, B6, and B12. Need that B12. I think on the daily vitamins I take, it's like, I don't know, some ungodly amount of B12 that goes into my body each day. I call it an antidepressant. So, and then there's the stories where, just hop on the internet and read all you want, of the people who are not successful, not focused, not committed. They have doubt. They attempt to change their belief system, but maybe they don't know how, or they don't do a good job at it. And they don't recover. They don't get well. They don't get rid of their disease. And again, I always talk in terms of health, physical health, and emotional health as well. People with depressions and, anxieties and things of that order. But I keep having to come back to, real life of, the people in lack is the most obvious one, that are homeless and unemployed. And, go down to inner city, big cities somewhere, and there's people sleeping in the alleys, in the doorways, down in those where the steps go down and the door goes into the lower level. I mean, it's real easy to find people. Go look under viaducts, under bridges. There are people that that do get themselves out of even lack to such a degree based on changing their belief. They got into that based on their belief system that was not congruent with, their thoughts and who they are today. And, that was the rub, that was the resistance that caused the downfall. And people that become so focused and clear and pure in their new belief can get themselves out of it. Now, one last comment today is that there's more research, and again, it seems to be every day you can read more research on this. I mean, it's been around a long time, but it's kind of more understood than it was before. But people get addicted to being sick. I mean, I talked about this 2 years ago. People who get a disease, they take on that as their personality, as their identity. And there's a thing called secondary gains. How tragic is that? There's secondary gains to being sick. You get things indirectly when you start using it as your identity. People identify you as the person with this, that, or the other thing. The person who has been homeless. The person who has no money. The poor person down on the corner. The depressed person who we see every day in the coffee shop. You take on your identity. Well, the same is kind of true there. That they have to change their belief system so that their focus is more on positive things occurring, right? So that they can draw the universe closer to them and health. But what happens is they don't want to do that. Now, that might be on a subconscious level and they're not consciously aware of it, but basically that's the gist of the whole thing. If you find a person who has a physical illness and it's prolonged for a long, long period of time, or an emotional illness that's prolonged for a long, long period of time, or they've been homeless for a long, long period of time, they're not willing to change their belief system, and they sort of like the identity they've gotten from their sickness or ill health. And your thoughts and behaviors determine the length of your illness. Does that make sense? In other words, if your thoughts are not pruning apart the neuron connections of old belief systems and perceptions, nothing is going to change. If you start bringing on very specific new belief systems that generate new thought, and your focus intensifies, and you start pruning apart old neuron connections, and you start building new neuron connections, that's where your healing can occur at that point. Your thoughts are that specific between sickness and health, and in some cases, life and death. So anyway, I guess I'm in for snow for the rest of the night, so I'm going to hunker down. Take care of one another. God bless everybody, and I look forward to talking to y'all again real soon. See you. Bye.